Okay, this video is going to focus on the application of perimeter. And for this application, we're going to work with a triangle. Let's assume we want to fence some triangular region of a yard or whatever you want to think of it as. So let's say we have some triangular region here. And we want to fence this off. Okay, so we want to figure out how much fence we need. So let's so we measure the fence here. Let's say we get 30 feet on this side and 40 feet on this side. And let's say, just for fun, to make this problem a little bit more interesting, let's say we know this is a right angle here, but for whatever reason we can't get in and get a good measurement of this side. So we're going to have to use a little math to figure out that side before we can actually calculate the perimeter. And I think we need this. We need to know the Pythagorean Theorem. This is a right triangle, and this side is going to be the hypotenuse. And so we can measure these other two sides. We've got them to be 30 and 40. So let's figure out the length of that third side, the hypotenuse. We know that in a right triangle, if I call this side A, this side B, call the hypotenuse C, we know that A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay, and we know here that A is 40 feet, so that's 40 feet squared, plus B is 30 feet. 30 feet squared equals our hypotenuse squared that we're looking for over there, C squared. So let's get our calculator out and start calculating some of this stuff. So we know that 40 squared means 40 times 40. So it's 40, let me clear everything out, 40 times 40 equals 1600. And when we squared it, we multiplied feet times feet, so that's square feet plus 30 squared, so that's 30 times 30. That gives me 900 square feet equals C squared. Okay, so now we have 1600 feet squared plus 900 feet squared. So let's clear everything out. We got 1600 plus 900. That gives me 2500 square feet. Equals C squared. Okay, now I need to get C by itself, and anytime you have something squared, we should know at this point to get it by itself, we take the square root. Take the square root of both sides. You can do, that's the golden rule of mathematics. You can do anything you want as long as you do it to both sides. So if I have C squared, its square root is C, and now I take this, so I take the square root of 2500, and note that the square root of the feet squared, so that takes me back to feet, and so the square root of 2500 clear, so 2500 square root is 50. So that's my little square root symbol right there. That's going to be 50. So C equals 50 feet. So now let's find the perimeter down here in red. So the perimeter is going to equal 30 feet plus 40 feet plus 50 feet. Okay, perimeter of when we have straight sides, it's always easy, just measure around them. Okay, so I'm going to get my perimeter is, clear everything out, 30 plus 40 plus 50, 120. So We need 120 foot of fence. So again, let's say what we did here. We were given in this problem, or we were given that we had some triangular area that we wanted to fence. And we measured, got our tape measure out, we measured one side to be 30 feet and one side to be 40 feet. And for whatever reason, we couldn't measure this other side. And really, I just wanted to make a use of the Pythagorean theorem here. So we use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals the hypotenuse squared. So a leg squared plus the leg squared, a squared plus b squared, is the hypotenuse squared. So we got 40 squared plus 30 squared equals c squared. We use our calculator to square those, and got this. And then the key here is that we have c squared, but what we really want to solve for is c. So when you have, anytime you have something squared and you want to just solve for that c, or maybe an x or a or whatever it is, you take the square root, and you must do anything you do to a math equation, you must do it to both sides. And so we took the square root of both sides, used our calculator, and found that the square root of 2,500 is 50, and the square root of feet squared, so it makes sense. If feet squared is feet, the square root of c squared is c. That gave me the hypotenuse to be 50 feet. And now the perimeter is the easiest problem in the world when we got straight sides. So we just add all the sides up, and we got a perimeter of 120 feet. And that will conclude this podcast on perimeter.